What's going on, everybody? My name is Ben, and welcome back to another episode on our FJ-2 Fury by Kitty Hawk. Today, I'm hoping to go ahead and get this thing a little bit closer to being finished. We have a lot of work to do, but here we go. This is as the kit stands right now. Stepping over from here, we need to go ahead and start gluing in some of the other parts and pieces, like the front leading edge slats, the rear tail planes, the nose gear door, as well as the ammo doors, all that good stuff. And then, I'm hoping at the very end of it, we're going to overcoat the entire model with our Gloss Black primer, really hoping that that actually works. So let's go ahead and check out where we're going to be starting. Now, as I mentioned, we do have to install a lot of the parts and pieces that we've left off up to this point. For example, the front nose gear bay door. This is one of those things where the instructions tell me to pose it open, but most of my references show that all these doors would have been closed when the aircraft was parked out on the tarmac. So I'm going to go ahead and close this one up, and plus I closed the main bay doors as well, so I want everything to match. We're going to go ahead and glue this in, and I'm going to switch over to the side door here for the ammo bay. We're going to glue the other ammo bay door open because we want to have it kind of set up as if it would be on the flight line ready to go. And then we have our leading edge slats we need to go ahead and figure out on both the wings and the wing tips. Then the rear tail, finally the arrestor hook and all that good stuff. So we're going to go ahead and just cue up a time lapse real quick here, guys. Push through and try to get as much assembled and glued on as possible. So go ahead and jump on in and get this thing going. Alright, everybody, we are back, and as you can see, I have installed the leading edge slats for the wings. But I'm running across a little bit of an issue here with these ones that are supposedly on the folded parts of the wings. They're actually a little bit too far forward. They should be pulled back. Now, in order to do that, I would have to take my flesh cuts and come in here and cut all of the connection pieces between the leading edge slat and the wing, and then shave out all the internal areas and slide this thing all the way back. I don't want to do that, but that's what I would have to do in order for it to be a little bit more accurate. If I look through all of my references, we see a lot of examples of folded wings here on the Dash 2s. And as you can see, a lot of the folded wings have those front slats tucked in and closed. That's going to be a little bit of a problem. But now that doesn't mean that they wouldn't be actually extended though, because we've seen other pictures that show us with those wing slats extended, but again, they wouldn't be as fully extended as they would have been here on the kit. This is meant more for the wings being in the down position, and we're building them in the folded position. Now this is an interesting picture right here. This is one from the same unit that I'm actually going to be building. And as you can see, they do have a little bit of those wing slats moved forward here on the folded part. So that's okay. At least we can justify keeping these things as is, because I really don't want to get in there and have to cut off all the little attachment points, go ahead and do more surgery and get this thing pulled back. I just really don't want to do that. So we're going to leave it as is, but I will go ahead and say that probably we should be removing these and sliding them in more, because a lot of times with those folded wings here on the Furies, those leading edge slats would be tucked back, and very rarely have I seen any pictures where they're in the fully extended position. But honestly, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and move on. Now, one of the other issues I've run across here on the wings are these little openings for what I assumed was the drop tank. There are two openings right here, two of these little locating pins right there, and then also on the other side of the wing. And like I said, I assumed that these were for the attachment points for the fuel tanks. And the Dash 2s would always carry drop tanks because of their limited internal fuel. Problem is, that's not what they're for. They're actually for the missiles, and the Dash 2s didn't carry missiles, so we're going to have to go ahead and plug all of these holes on both the right and left wing. To do that, I'm going to be using some old scrap plastic that I had when I stretched some sprue a while back. We're going to take that, since it's already kind of tapered, we're going to cut it to length, drill that inside, and then glue it down. Another area that I'm having some issues with here is the arrestor hook. Now, I've actually decided to go ahead and close up the arrestor hook and tuck it inside the aircraft. And as you can see, these rear doors are actually 2 millimeters too short. They're designed to be in the open position to have the arrestor hook down, and I have seen hardly any references that show that. So I want to go ahead and tuck everything in and make it as streamlined as possible. Unfortunately, we have a part here that's actually too short. Like I said, 2 millimeters too short. So we're going to have to do some kit surgery here and rebuild this and extend this 2 millimeters out. Now, I'm not sure if this is exactly the correct way to do it, but this is how I've kind of come up with it. Now, what we're going to do is take the actual little door here, and I'm going to add a very thin piece of styrene onto the underside of the part. This is going to add for some support, because then I intend on taking a little thicker piece of styrene. We're going to glue it onto the outside and kind of butt it up against the actual part. Then we can come in, we can glue it down, and we can then sand it down once the glue has dried. The nice thing with these styrene strips is they will really, really glue well. The Tamiya extra thin glue just works beautifully with these styrene strips, and we should be able to use this as a backing and as support to go ahead and build up from there. Honestly, the kit itself has a lot of detail, but it just has issues. The issues are small, but there's a lot of them. So it's a little bit unfortunate, to be honest. I was hoping for much greater things. And now, once that part is dry, we can take a little thicker piece of styrene and we can butt it up against that door and then glue that down and then shape it to fit after all the parts have dried. So I'm happy we're going to let this sit, do the exact same thing for the other side. Once those are dry, we can cut them down, shave them to fit the opening. And then I'm hoping after we go ahead and prime it over, you won't even notice it. And honestly, even the arrestor hook itself doesn't fit. So I don't know what Kitty Hawk was doing with this, but again, it was designed for the arrestor hook to be down and deployed. And I have seen no aircraft sitting on the flight line that are not under repair that have that happen. So we're just going to go ahead and glue it in, get all the doors glued down, sand everything down, prime it with some Stalin-Res primer, and then come back once that's dry and hit it with that black basing primer from Alclad. So let's do it. All right, everybody, we are back. And as you can see, we have our Fury all nicely painted in Gloss Black by Alclad. Once this fully cures, next episode, we can come back and we can start overlaying the different Alclad paints that I have. And I'm hoping to get a really interesting, kind of cool looking metal finish. Now, I'm no expert on metal finishes. I've never tried Alclad paints before, but I know Joe was talking about it. A lot of people online say they're great, so I'm really excited to go ahead and try them out. We also went ahead and took our wing tips, and we drilled a little bit of a hole here in the very edge where the navigation light would be, and we have a toothpick in there to hold those while we painted them with gloss black, and we have our drop tanks all nicely gloss blacked as well. We also took the liberty of making sure that all the parts and pieces that would be exposed would have the same color as the actual aircraft. So I've gone ahead and hit the black basing on the drop tank connection points and also the landing gear bay covers. So we are looking good. I'm happy to say that the black paint went on beautifully. Alclad paint is super thin, so that's going to be interesting to work with. It says to leave it for about 24 hours to really make sure it's cured, so we're going to leave it alone. Next episode, we'll be back, and I'm hoping to get all of that nice metal coat down, and we'll see what happens. So until our next episode, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. You know the drill. Go out there, get yourself some bench time, have some fun, build something cool, and we'll see you back here on episode 12 of the FJ-2 Fury by Kitty Hawk. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you soon.